All right, thank you so much for that, sir. I just wanted to look back at the events of Tuesday and the crisis we have now in the country. Could the crisis have been prevented? I mean, what could we have done better as a nation from this crisis?
Look, I'll tell a personal story. How did I know there was a crisis? Please, I'm somebody whom I give my phone number to almost everybody. So I'm in touch with the world. I started getting phone calls. What were the calls about? It was youths complaining that there was an attempt to block some bank account or the other, and that they asking that does anybody have a right to block bank accounts when they've done nothing wrong? They were angry. So I tried to douse the anger by saying, hang on, hang on, hang on. Whoever blocked your account, he must be a Nigerian. Go and meet his friends, people, to appeal to him to see reason you have not broken the law. I did that, but I guarantee you, I also did my best, and I have proof. With the authorities in charge, I did my best with the banks to tell them, do not respond to a civil protest, no violence. Do not respond to it by you violating Nigerian law. Nigerian law never gave you powers to block the account of any Nigerian or foreigner who is doing everything legal. So I myself got called into this dispute when I saw that people were getting angry. So various people did things at various times, needlessly, that got people angry. So it became an escalation. As soon as one person does something wrong, the other person adds something wrong on top. So we were going like that, cascading. So we did many things wrong. I only gave one example.
Well, Mr. Peterside, still along that line of thought, I recall that on your Twitter handle, on Sunday and also on Tuesday, you called on the Nigerian youth at the Lekki Toll Gate to choose the option of dialogue, to call a truce, to negotiate with government. Now, why did you do that? Did you foresee what eventually happened Tuesday evening? Could it be that you had access to some privileged information that there was going to be a blowout at that Lekki Toll Gate Plaza in Lagos?
Look, I will tell you the truth and the whole truth, so help me God. I'm not here to pretend. I did not have privileged information, but let me tell you one thing. I had information. There are security experts globally, from CIA to MI5, who will tell you that 80% or so of the information they work with is available in the public space. They simply access it, analyze it, watch what is being said, social media, what is trending. Only a tiny percent nowadays, and probably getting smaller and smaller, is from actually sending one spy to Afghanistan. The rest is what people are saying in Afghanistan. You dissect, you read between the lines. By Sunday morning, it was a function of my experience that in Lagos, where I came to Lagos at age 10, in Lagos, if you have any event, if I dare you to have a wedding, a big wedding, for 7 days non-stop, by the 7th day, you may have to run for your life from hooligans, our hoodlums, who will be growing in number outside the wedding. So that's number one. That's number one. Then number two, I saw a video clip from Abuja. I believe Arise TV has that same video clip. That was an early warning sign. If you have the video clip and you can play it.
Mr. Peterside, let's check with our directors. If they have that video clip, well, I think the director is telling me that we have that clip. Could you play it, please?
And that is why we are at the office of the IG of police. As we speak now, we have a lot of issues that happens to do with the indigenous people of Abuja. None of these hypocrites have come one day. None of these hypocrites have come one day in solidarity of the indigenous people or to protest and say they want to address our plight. None of them. But today, they have taken over all the streets in Abuja and want to make it categorically clear that between now and 48 hours, if we see anybody taking over the indigenous communities of Abuja, we will have no other choice than to engage the person. That is why we have come here today to tell the IG of police that if within 48 hours, all the residents of Abuja will go after all these people who have. Am I speaking or am I? Within the next 48 hours, we will prove to them that we can no longer accommodate them, we cannot condone them, because we feel that whatever they are doing at this point has a political undertone. Nobody should stop in Nigeria for us.
Do you think this is the right approach? Because it's a threat.
It's not a threat, but at this point, we have been pushed to the wall. Nobody can go to work. Our mothers who can not sell corn anymore, who cannot sell anything, people who can no longer go to their normal activities, everybody have been caged. I don't understand. If they want to change the government, they should change the government. Let's see.
So
at once.
What your petition, what are you asking the IG to do? What are you doing?
What we want the IG to do is that within 48 hours, it should clear off our streets. That's so. Am I speaking or am I? Within 48 hours from today, within 48 hours, if we see anybody protesting in Abuja again, he has what to contend with. Yes, so. Yeah. We are indigent. We know our right.
Well, Mr. Peterside, if you're still with us, that's the video clip there. Our rights correspondent was at that
yes.
press brief.
Thank you. Please, I want to explain something now. I got that video clip from social media, but realizing how much Nigerians can send out a fake video, that was why I saw that a completely unknown person, somebody I've never seen before in my life, he's not a senator, he's not a governor, all of a sudden, he's giving a press conference like a head of state. Arise TV is present, channels, AIT, everybody. I want to come on, give me a break, I'm 65 years old. Since when did the total unknown person, I'm not insulting him, perhaps he's brilliant, start having the ability to assemble the cream of Nigerian television stations, and is addressing them like a head of state, threatening Nigerians, giving the IG ultimatum. How did the media assemble? Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't have the evidence. But from my experience, I guessed that somebody sponsored all that. I know how difficult it is to assemble all the media in Nigeria to be present to interview the CEO of a company, of a governor. Then suddenly, somebody whom nobody knows, the media are all present. Now, so I refused to believe the video and instead ask Arise TV. I saw your cameraman was there. Let me see the video. If Nigerians check their facts like that, like now you've played that video, let somebody come and deny and say there was not one unknown person in Abuja threatening that he will unleash mayhem in 48 hours, and all of you assembled there to give him audience. So the media too are culpable. Now, for me, as a financial analyst, I look for early warning signs. When you see things like that, you know it was sponsored. Please, let me change my language. I believed it was sponsored because I know Nigerian media. Even for me, they won't all, I'm nobody. For governors, some will be missing. You were all present. Ask yourselves, how come you were all present? Who pulled you together? So for me, there was evidence of sponsored violence coming. That's when I started begging the youths. I even sent some of them the video clips. The problem was that they didn't believe that anybody would sponsor violence in Nigeria. Even this clip, some of them said, oh, it's rubbish. So but as you can see, my evidence is circumstantial, but it comes from the public space. You can do investigative work and find out who is that gentleman. How did they assemble the whole world? If he was calling the IG, can anybody go to New York and be threatening mayhem near the police station with all the media present, and they won't immediately arrest him or hold him to account? So all my information is from the public space. I beg people to do the same, but verify the information. So the warning signs were there. The more we begged some of the youths to leave, the more others told them, oh, if you wear a national flag and you sing national anthem, the Nigerian army will not shoot you. I said, give me a break. Which country are you talking about? Where were you when the Nigerian army shot Shiites in Zaria at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.? Where were you? Who told you that the Nigerian army that went to OD in Bayelsa and shot everybody, women and children they could find? Who told you that that Nigerian army of ours has that kind of restraint? Please don't get me wrong. I have not even said, if you notice, that I know that it was the Nigerian army that went to Lekki. I'm just telling you that if somebody told me that Nigerian army, when they come out, might not be violent, they have a record of violence against even men, women, and children, including Zaria. Why do people believe stories that in Lekki, perhaps many people died, they took the bodies away? They believed it, whether it is true or false, because the army has had a record of doing the same in Zaria before, carrying away the corpses to go and bury the mass grave somewhere else. Please, I have not said the army did anything in Lekki. I'm just telling you that, let me give an example. If a known rapist breaks into a girl's hostel, 2 minutes later, 1 or 2 girls come out shouting, rape, 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 he raped me. Everybody will say, since he's a rapist, he must have raped them. I will say no. All I know is that the rapist went inside there. Let us get evidence that he actually raped them. Most Nigerians will say, since he's a known rapist, if he was there, then he must have raped them. That's the difference between circumstantial evidence and fact-checking. So it is the record of the Nigerian army that makes Nigerians believe that they will do the worst things possible. The army too must change. The same leadership that carried out the slaughter in Zaria is still there today. So why should Nigerians not worry whether the same tactics were used in Lekki? Indeed, the youth told me things like, oh, Lekki is not Zaria. I said, are you sure? A rapist will rape in Zaria, but in Lagos he won't rape. Are you sure?
Thank you, sir. So spot on. Thank you so much for that. You're reminding me of that saying,